there I was. It was early in the morning. I just jumped out of bed, and it was November 12th, 1976, and I was standing in my bedroom window, and I was looking at the dark, ominous clouds that were out there, and I wondered if my CFI, which is it means a certified flight instructor, and I was wondering if he'd show up for my next flying lesson. I wanted a pilot's license because driving to New York City and Philadelphia for continuing education that I took, and it was just taking too long away from my dental practice. I was really excited, I couldn't wait to get to the airport because I loved these lessons, it was really great. I loved the feeling of being in the air, and, I was really looking forward to it. Well, I completed my pre-flight check, and, it was on this red and white Cessna 172, and I could see that my CFI was jumping up and down trying to keep warm because it was pretty cold. Anyway, Butch was a striking guy. He had a face that showed many years of experience, and I felt super safe when we were in the air together, and up there thousands of feet high above the ground, and it was a very safe experience, and I felt good about it. Anyway, I started the engine, and as the engine warmed up, I noticed the parking lot, which was usually resembled a cemetery at the time in the morning, contained more cars than I'd ever seen on any visit at any time of the day. So here we are at the end of the runway, and I advanced the throttle to full power to check the dials were all in the green, and everything was functioning normally, as I had been shown and instructed. And I turned and I asked Butch if he knew why, what was up with all those cars that, were in the parking lot. But it was interesting because I thought it was very strange that he quickly turned away and said, "How would I know?" So the engine was idling softly, when suddenly, all of a sudden, out of the blue, my CFI opened the door and jumped out. So here he is standing on the tarmac. He looks me straight in the eye with a knowing smile and says, "Make 3 takeoffs and landings, and I'll be waiting." And he just slammed the door shut, locked it, and walked away. So here I am, and I stared at the empty seat beside me, oh my God, I panicked. I mean, I was like, my heart was pounding in my ears, and I felt a cold sweat dripping from my chin, and all of my excitement just drained away like it was flushed down the toilet. My fear just zoomed up, unbelievable. I sat there frozen, there was no friggin' way that I was gonna go up alone. I mean, I just couldn't do it. I mean, I screamed out loud, "I can't do this. I'm not ready. I don't know enough. I need more lessons." Anyway, all of a sudden, a total silence enveloped me as I turned off the mechanism. The idling engine ceased to exist, as well as everything else. And after a short period of time, I don't remember exactly how long, I just laughed uncontrollably. It came from deep in my throat, and I realized that all those cars belonged to friends and family who had come to witness my first solo flight. And, perhaps my death even, that wasn't too good to think about. I could see them. They were all shouting and clapping and rooting me on. And I reminded myself, really, trying to, pull some, get myself a little more confidence, that really it was a very simple task. Take off, climb to 1,000 feet, circle the airport, land the plane. I mean, what could be easier than that? I mean, really? Come on. So anyway, I'm not a quitter, and I just reached deep inside of me for an answer, because I knew that Butch had trained me very well. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I don't know, the throttle got shoved forward to the firewall as far as it would go. And halfway down the runway, I realized this was a win or lose situation here. There was no draw. I mean, you either win or lose, period. Well, as it turns out, that little red and white Cessna seemed to leap into the air when I pulled back on the yoke. The plane was, of course, much lighter now because, again, I was totally alone, all by myself, which no place to go but my own creative, ability, I guess. Off we go into the wild blue yonder. Oh, wow. Who was I kidding? And as it turned out, the rest of the flight was pretty uneventful. And as I landed for the third time, I could see the people who had come, witness my triumph. They were clapping and cheering and jumping up and down. It was amazing. I just felt honored. I had done it. Well, Butch was waiting there when I parked the plane in its usual parking spot. I shut down the engine and leapt out the door. For goodness sakes, I felt like I just conquered the world. My euphoria was just off the chart. Butch gave me a hug, and he proceeded to cut my shirt tail, which is a common practice when one completes their first solo flight. I was so delirious with happiness and euphoria. I mean, it was unbelievable. I knew my life had changed for the better. And over the next several days, I realized I would never fear an obstacle, challenge, or problem, or even worry about what to do, but figure out how to solve any problem or overcome any obstacle in the best possible manner for everyone concerned. Yep, I can tell you right now, that was an adventure or a challenge that changed my life. Period.